It's really sobering to read this book that we love and land in a story so relevant for our present truth. Following the weeks of terror and death the human family has experienced, people are fainting from fear and living with foreboding about what is coming upon the world. There are signs in the sun and moon and stars, and distress among the nations on the earth is real. The powers of the heavens appear to be shaking. The sea and the waves are roaring. This is the truth of our present reality. The power of this text is that it connects with our grief across 2,000 years. It connects with our grief because it points to the broken human condition that is timeless. Fear and foreboding are not new. Distress and confusion are not new. The human condition is still broken. Not irreparable, but broken. We are not living the lives God imagined. Well, maybe you are. Maybe your third cousin twice removed is. But we collectively are not living as those who see the inbreaking God coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That is the truth, and that is the tragedy. Advent, though, is another truth, another lens through which to see the different life God imagines for all the creatures. This truth is coming. We live our lives between now and the coming truth. We live our lives between the beginning and ending story of Christ and the church. We live our lives between birth and death, between courage and fear, between this hope and the next hope and the next hope. And our living challenges our faith. We read the papers. We watch the news. We go home for the holidays, and our faith is tested. We work and wait and watch with hope, because we know intellectually in the end, God is coming, and love wins. Our faith teaches that. Our pastors preach that. The end of the story says love wins. But what do we do in the meantime? While we're waiting for love to win, what do we do? This morning, we get a text that does not seem to offer tremendous hope or promise. Theologians classify it as apocalyptic, which in popular culture means death and destruction. Apocalyptic movies highlight the scarcity of resources and every person out for themselves. But in the Bible, apocalyptic reveals the supernatural world beyond the historical events, the supernatural world beyond the world that we can see. Apocalypse is not the end of the world, but the revelation of a different world, God's different world. Apocalypse reveals God, active and acting. With that read, I would say we are in an apocalyptic time, a revealing time, a time in which it is possible to see beyond the world we see to God's different world. When that time comes, the text says, then they will see. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Apocalypse is another way of seeing the different life, the alternate life, the life God imagines for all the creatures. God is breaking into our brokenness. But what do we do in the meantime? One Muslim man following the November 13th attack had an idea for living his life in the meantime, and I want you guys to take a look. This Muslim man sends a powerful message. I'm going to read because the captions go kind of quickly. I'm a Muslim, but I'm told that I'm a terrorist. I trust you. Do you trust me? If yes, hug me. And a lot of Parisians did. I would like to thank every one of you for giving me a hug. I did this to send a message to everyone. I am a Muslim, but that doesn't make me a terrorist. I never killed anybody. I can even tell you that last Friday was my birthday, but I didn't go out. I deeply feel for all of the victims' families. I want to tell you that Muslim doesn't necessarily mean terrorist. A terrorist is a terrorist, someone willing to kill another human being over nothing. A Muslim would never do that. Our religion forbids it. This is the apocalypse of love, the inbreaking of the supernatural. This man embodies the revelation of God's different world. Collectively and individually, the people of God hunger for God's different world. We hunger for the revelation of a new way of seeing and being. Heading into this Advent season of arrival, God is breaking into our brokenness, and all is not lost. God did not set the world spinning and walk away. Instead, God is coming. God is breaking in. And God has this Muslim man and us and others. In the meantime, in the midst of our fear and trembling, in the midst of our terror and despair, in the midst of our feelings of helplessness and denial, in the midst of our frustration with others on the journey with us, we must prepare ourselves to prepare God's way. Beyond the actions that we take, and they are important, beyond the money that we donate, and that is vitally important, beyond wrongdoing and right doing, I am increasingly convinced that the inner lives we cultivate and furnish for ourselves offer a key to living in the meantime. Be on guard, Luke says, so that your hearts are not weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness and the worries of this life. What is this, if not an encouragement to prayer and meditation and communion with the God who is the source of all love? I'm inviting you to make this Advent season an apocalypse of love, a supernatural revealing of love and communion with God. I'd like to share a powerful prayer that I experienced this week from the teacher David G. He offers this prayer to the world. And I hope in this season of God's arrival that you might find it helpful in seeing the different world that God imagines and the role you play in the apocalypse of love. If you're willing, begin by closing your eyes. Continue by putting your attention on your heart and visualizing your heart as a pulsating sphere of light. Within that sphere, visualize a divine being, however you name that being. Now visualize the rest of your body as a body of light. And slowly imagine your light body with its pulsating sphere containing the divine being, expanding to fill the entire sanctuary. Allow the expansion to continue so that you are no longer in the room, but in fact, The room is in you. See yourself slowly expanding beyond the walls of the sanctuary, allowing the sanctuary to become a part of you. Continue expanding your light body so that the block we are on becomes a part of you. Then the neighborhood. Slowly keep expanding so that this entire city exists in your being. The buildings, the people, the traffic, the animals, the parks, and the countryside continue to expand your physical being to include the state in which we are in. The country, every waterway, mountain, hill, forest, the clouds above you are now within you. Jet planes are passing through you and are in you. The atmosphere is being absorbed by you, and ultimately, the entire planet. And now see that the whole world exists in you. All the people, all other beings, trees and forests and rivers and mountains, rainfall and sunshine, earth and water. These are different components of your being. Now quietly whisper to yourself, I am not in the world. The world is in me. I am not in the world. The world is in me. Whatever imbalances you see in the world, ask the divine being still dancing in your pulsating sphere of a heart to correct them. Ask the divine being to fulfill any desire you have and to bring harmony, beauty, healing, and joy to the different parts of your cosmic self. Continue to expand your sense of self to include the sun and moon and stars. Now say to yourself, I am not in the universe. The universe is in me. Slowly begin to diminish the size of your cosmic self until you can once again experience your personal body here in the sanctuary. Imagine every cell in your body part of a dance, a universe unto itself. And remind yourself that in the space where God is coming on a cloud with power and great glory, that what you cultivate inside yourself has the power to change the world. Take a deep breath, and when you are ready, please open your eyes. In the meantime, this Advent, be on guard to hold love and joy and peace and hope for yourself, for your loved ones, for your enemies, and for the entire good creation. Be alert at all times, Luke says, praying that you may have the strength to escape all these things that will take place and to stand before the Son of Man. God is breaking into the brokenness for you. I pray that you will be God's inbreaking for someone else. To God be the glory. Amen.